I think my 20s now, as much as I'm like, live life, live your best life, soft girl and princess treatment, I don't really think I'm one of those kind of girls.
I mean, if I was to save the way I spent back then, I'd have been a millionaire. Because I spent money like there was no tomorrow.
Because you was living for today and forgetting about tomorrow.
Exactly.
So you were spending, you was like cashing out. Welcome. We're back with another episode of Harry's Daughter.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie. This is my lovely co-host,
Harry.
And yeah, so this is our second episode. We're back at it again. This week is kind of a chilled one. We did a little...
Chill one for her, not for me.
We're going to take it chill. We did a little like Q&A on Instagram, and we asked the people, what would you like us to talk about on the podcast? And so the one I think, I'm between two. One of them is a mistake that you made that you don't regret.
A mistake that I made I don't regret.
Your biggest life lesson.
These questions are hard.
Or have you got any dating advice for young women? So you have
No
to
chance.
think about one of those. Or the other one was, the fourth one was your biggest lessons from your 20s. Any of those tickle
The
your
biggest
fancy?
lessons from my 20s, that was like kind of show my age here, but that's over 40 years ago.
Yeah, but like, what was that like? What was your 20s like? Just
20s was good. 20s was fun. 20s was enjoyable.
Did you have any kids in your 20s? No? No,
No.
so you was kid-free.
Kid-free, yeah. Well, late 20s. Actually, thinking about it, late 20s, but yeah, early 20s.
You
kid
came
free.
to England when you were in your teenage years.
14 going 15.
So by then, 20, were you settled? How long did it take you to like settle from moving country? Because that in itself is a big thing. Coming from a hot country to a cold country, leaving what you know to something unfamiliar, settling, making new friends. How long did that take? And then when you got into your 20s, would you say you were comfortable? Were you not?
Oh no, I was definitely comfortable in my 20s. I mean, as far as I even like going forward 16, 17, I was comfortable. Made friends easy. Street where we lived, obviously quite a few of the guys, we got to know each other. And we all became good friends. We went football matches with them and stuff. Those were some crazy days. Yeah, we got settled quite easily actually. And then I started work when I was 18. Working in studios, recording studios and stuff, and got to know people. Actually, a couple of the lads are still friends with now.
Oh, wow.
One lives in Jamaica, and Uncle Noel. And yeah, so we've gone from the 18s onwards and stuff. So yeah, it was quite settling, and we had a few parties. We went to a few parties.
So if you had to if the 20s was a chapter in your life, like a book chapter, what would that chapter be titled?
Well, that would be titled Live for Today and Forget Tomorrow.
Live for today and forget tomorrow.
Well, that's what we did. We just live from day to day and just don't worry about tomorrow.
So
Unfortunately,
you weren't really thinking of, I gotta get a mortgage, I gotta get the savings.
Not in your early 20s.
Like
not
that.
in your early 20s.
Now you're like, save, start your pension early, put money down so you can buy a mortgage, but that wasn't in your mind.
Actually, you asked a question earlier on, and that is actually one of the regrets when I think about it. Now that you've put it that way, that is one of the regrets. Not saving back then.
Really?
Yeah. Because, I mean, if I was to save the way I spent back then, I'd have been a millionaire. Because I spent money like there was no tomorrow.
Because you was living for today and forgetting about tomorrow.
Exactly.
So you were spending, you was like cashing out.
Even my pension, private pension, because it's always been self-employed. And when I should have been increasing it,
You're like,
I just let it go and stuff. So, yeah, I thought that's one of the things I kind of think about. I would actually change if I could go back 40 years ago, and I would have put more money away. I mean, and that's one of the things my mum, rest her soul, did say to me or tried to get me to do. But as I said, I live for today, not tomorrow. Back then, and I realised what she was talking about back then. Save more. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I feel like that's. I think that lesson for you, you've definitely tried to teach it to us because you when I first started working, you were like, get a private pension, put your money aside into it, save. So I think that I can see why that was a lesson for you that you want to instill in your children now.
well, not just my children, anyone in general, to be honest with you, kids, people going forward, is that if you can, I know it's, as I said earlier, everyone live for today and forget tomorrow, but it's a hard lesson to learn when obviously you get to a certain age and realize that you haven't got much or as much as you should have. Not that you haven't got much, as much as you thought you would like or you would like to have.
Yeah.
But not that, living from hand to mouth. It's not that way, but to be able to say, like, you know what, in my 60s, I'll be just travel every 6 weeks. Forget every 2 months, every 6 weeks I should be off somewhere. And I know it's not easy to save. When you go through life, things changes from day to day. You have kids, things crops up, in the house, washing machine might go. So you end up spending money you save. But if you were to do it in a way where it's untouchable, and if you were to live to that a certain age, then you know what, it would be it's a good thing to do, because you look back and think, you know what, that money was there, I didn't have to touch it, now I can enjoy it. So yeah, save if you can. That's me.
So when did you start realizing the consequence of that? So at what age did you think, oh, that's what I should have done? Because in your 20s, if you was living and just enjoying, is it when you got to your 30s? Is it when you got to your 40s? Or is it now in your 60s that you think that? Or is it that as soon as your 20s ended, you thought, oh, I should have been doing that? Or is it only coming to realization now?
I think it's probably more like in the 40s, really. 40s,
Really?
going 50s, not in the 20s and 30s, I was still living life, to be honest with you. Yeah, you just carry on living, doing what you're doing, kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I had a pension, private pension. So at the end of the day, you think, well, I've got a private pension, and I was more into late 20s and stuff. I was into properties, really and truly. So my pension was properties. So I didn't really worry about later on in life, because as far as I'm concerned, later on in life was already sorted with properties. So that's the reason why, and I didn't save on a daily basis, because I knew what I had coming down the line as far as properties were concerned. So,
and imagine the properties at that time. Now, I'm like, if that cost of houses now in this 2023 is so ridiculous that when I spoke to Granddad's a grandma from my church that sadly passed away, she's talking about when she came in the windwash and they lived together and she helped her friends put a deposit on the house. Guess how much the deposit on the house was?
I would say probably back then in Rush, you're probably talking about £25.
£50.
£50.
She helped her friend put a deposit in a house in Manchester for, I think, £50. And the way she was, obviously at the time, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But now, do you think if someone told me that I need to put a deposit on a house for £50, that I wouldn't buy so many houses? But literally, the cost of a house now, they say that to buy a house in London, your income needs to be over 100k, because the houses are around 4 to 500k, and that's 100k so that you can get a mortgage at 4.5 times. So now the cost of housing is crazy. So I just think, you lot should have been buying houses back in the day. You should have bought houses and houses, because the prices of houses now. But I guess you guys weren't thinking like that.
Yeah, if you had that foresight, then yes, a few people did. Bought a few houses and got on with it, kind of thing. I had a few friends, myself, a couple of friends, and we bought a few houses. We sold them, and we just got on with it and stuff. But we should have done a lot better than what we did. Let's put it that way. And one of the lads, he's still got quite a few houses, and he's done quite well. Me, I didn't do as good as he did, because
we live in life.
I live life. But yeah, house prices back then was quite, I remember my mum, they paid £5,000 for their house in Wandsworth. That's now worth over probably £1 nearly 1.5 million kind of thing in Wandsworth.
A house that
So
you paid $5,000 for.
yeah, I remember.
And like now they're saying like the average age for someone to buy a house to get on the property ladder is in their 30s now, just because of how expensive it is. And that's why I'm like, I'm not in a rush to leave this house. I'm not in a rush to move out just because of how expensive it is.
Yeah. No.
And I think my 20s now, as much as I'm like, live life, live your best life, soft girl and princess treatment, I don't really think I'm one of those kind of girls. Like, soft life is just like having things come to you easily, no stress, just enjoyment. Princess treatment is having someone do that for you and giving you a princess treatment, like giving you the things that you want. So those are kind of terms that people say nowadays and how they want to describe their life to be. And I don't know if I co-sign that, but I think in my mind, I can't be one of those, let's just live for the moment now. I think I'm half live for the moment now, but you want to eat tomorrow. So what do you do then? And that's why I'm like, I save, I'm a good saver. And I know that I'm a good saver. But then also sometimes I'm just like, but what if I die tomorrow? What is going to happen?
Well, I guess that was probably my scenario back then. That's the form, live for the day and forget tomorrow. Because if you save the day and you die tomorrow, someone else is going to get it and enjoy it, and you're not going to get the benefits of it. So I guess that was my way of thinking back then. As I said, it's probably the wrong way. You just have to go 50-50, where you know, if something happens to you, then think about that. You know what? Even if you haven't got any kids, your siblings might get it. Your siblings will get it. Or your mum will get it. You know, your parents will get it, should I say. So at least that way you've got a backup in a sense that whatever you put aside is something that you don't really need today, right? And you've got to bear that in mind. I mean, one of the things that I do now, or did a few years ago, is I like traveling. And to travel, obviously you need the money. And what I used to do, I used to take my traveling as a bill. So each month I would put X amount away, pay it as a bill. So I'll always have that money to travel. And people say, you're always traveling. But they didn't realize that when I work every week or whatever, I might put away 10 or 20 pounds. Yeah. And that was my travel money. So if I didn't make tomorrow, you know what? The kids will have it, or the wife will have it, whatever. But at least come tomorrow and I'm still here, I've got that money to travel. And that's what you have to look at, how you have to look at it. That live today, but tomorrow, if you don't live, someone else will live on your behalf and your family. So that's what you have to do. But try and make sure that you've got something for tomorrow if you do reach tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can still enjoy life. You don't have to sort of save every penny. I know it's hard this day and age now. Obviously, you work for £20 a week. Well, not £20, just being hypothetical. But whatever you earn is not as much
as the cost of living.
Cost of living is just kind of squeeze you left, right, and centre. So, yeah, just try and save a bit. That would be my advice going back, back then. I mean, as I said earlier, if I'd save back then, I could have probably have in my bank account, just savings alone, when I think about it, probably 500,000 just saved if I was a good saver. But I'm not, And
someone asked me the other day, like, Natalie, you're a good saver. Like, how did you get that way? Is it because of your parents? And I think my response was a bit kind of, yeah and no. Because I think my dad's kind of money mentality is like, when I die, I can't take it with me.
Exactly.
And I know that's what you say, but I'm like, I'm in my 20s. I can't think like that. I have to think that I'm going to live for a very long time. Whereas you're in your 60s, you might think, I can't take it with me, so let me enjoy it now. But because there's such a big age gap and we're in different places, I feel like I can't think like that. So I feel like I have to think, no, I need to put some money aside. And I think that is because of the mistake that you've mentioned. You've consciously told us to be better savers. I remember in school you would be like, if I give you this money, don't spend all of it, put some of it aside. So I would just don't spend all of it. You don't need to. Even if I give you £20, there's no need for you to spend all of the 20. even if you save £2.
See,
So I
that's-
think I just from then got the mindset that whatever I get, I don't need to spend it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think your lesson became one of our life lessons, because I don't think any of us are terrible savers or terrible with money. And I think that's probably because of that lesson that you've learned.
Yeah.
Taught it to us in different ways. I think so.
I think so as well. I mean, because I said, I've learned, that I should have saved more back from going backwards from my 20s when I was working. I realized I should have been saving a lot more than I did. And obviously, okay, so still 40s onwards, you realize, you know what? I need to save a lot more. So then at that point in time, obviously, like you said, I've passed on that message to you guys that, you know what? At 20, I live for 20 and 21 roughly. But now I'm 40, all right, I need that money back then when I was 20. So if I'd have saved it, I'd have been better off probably buy a few more houses or whatever. But because I didn't, it's left me in a bit of a situation where I shouldn't have been in, because I had the money back then to just save and not even realize that I was saving, kind of thing. Because you can just put it in you got these insurance policies where they just take the money out when the week come or when the month come.
Yeah.
And like a bill, that's what in saving is all about, basically a bill. They just come and take it, you don't know it's gone, but come a certain time, you get X amount of money back.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few endowment policies where you reach, for example, 40, 50, and you get sort of like £10,000 back. I remember one policy, I actually got 40 grand back.
Huh?
Yeah, 40 grand back from one of my policies that I've saved. So I did save, but when I got it, I spent it.
I was like, why didn't you give that to me? I would have saved that for you.
Actually, I've got the check, because what happened, they sent me a check, and the check...
Maybe you can still cash it in.
No, it's too no. They had to. They sent the wrong. They had to resend the check. So the one, obviously, I've still got the one that they sent back then.
Maybe you can still get it.
I've got that one that they sent back then, but they had to send me another check anyway. And sometimes I see and I'm thinking, 40 grand.
Do you think, where did I spend this money?
Oh, what the hell did I do with it? And I look back and think, what have I done with it? I've got no idea.
That was going to be my next question, because in your 20s, what did you find you spent your money on? Because now a lot of people, what they call it is like image, lifestyle people. So it's like you've got the nice car, or you've got a flat, or you've got the latest design and stuff, but like your fridge at home is empty. Like you can't, there's no petrol in the fancy car, and you're doing things just to look good to your friends. And a lot of people are now saying that, it's social media influence, because you're seeing other people with those stuff. You feel the pressure that you should get that stuff, and then it's like a constant cycle of like, I can't really afford it, but everyone else has got this Louis Vuitton bag. Everyone else is going on 5-star holidays, so I'm doing what I can to keep up appearances with others. But you guys didn't have social media at that time, so what were you spending your money on, and what were your
even though we didn't
influences?
have social media back then, we still have those peer pressures where you go out, people got the nice slacks on, the nice shoes on, the shirts,
nice what?
slacks, trousers.
Oh,
You got your nice jumpers and stuff on, crocodile shoes, but back then, crocodile belts and so on. People, peer pressures comes in different ways. Social media is a new way.
yeah.
Back then we had different ways of dealing with it. Once you get to the club, you see what people are wearing, and you get to know and stuff. So you played. Mine was mainly cars, really and truly. I just love cars. I used to buy all different cars. I mean, I had big, massive Mercedes and stuff. Yeah. We used to just, mine was cars. I used to have sometimes 3 cars sometimes. Just like cars. And I spent a lot of money on cars and traveling. I mean, as I said, traveling was always in my blood, and I've been many places with friends back then as well. So, and even when you guys were young,
Oh yeah, you said last week.
it was money again. It was every time we go on vacation, holiday, we want to call it. You're looking at roughly 10 grand, and 10 grand back then was a lot of money. So I spent my money. I enjoyed it. I mean, I've got no regrets as far as not enjoying what not doing what I did back then, apart from the saving a bit more kind of thing. Yeah, money. Social media. It didn't. But I say social media now, obviously, is the way things are happening. Everything is on social media, but it's also, it can be a hindrance as well to a lot of people, to be honest with you, because as you said, you go on holiday and all of a sudden, you know, you have to get different clothes every time you go, different tops, different, because everyone is seeing it, everyone's with the camera, clicking in. It's like, you had that shirt on last year, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I could take the same shirts for 5 years and no one would know the difference, apart from the people that I want to show the pictures to, because it was actually on stills, so no one actually got to see them.
Yeah,
but obviously,
like now, I've worn a top like 3 times, and I'll be like, oh, I've worn it too much. I've worn it too much. I can't wear the top again. It's enough now. The top's tired. Just because I feel like if I've gone out and I've taken a picture in it a couple of times, it's like, don't you have any other clothes? But if things weren't documented so much on social media, probably wouldn't feel like that to wear your own clothes that you've paid for. But sometimes it's just like, I don't want to keep repeating the same things.
I mean, the clothes back then is different to now as well, but also different. I mean, we used to buy quality clothes, you know, so I guess obviously the bags and stuff that you mentioned just now, they're quite obviously expensive, but I mean, we used to buy silk shirts back then, as I said, crocodile shoes and all those kind of stupidness, right? The belts and everything.
I really want to find these pictures so I can just see you in a silk shirt with your...
I can still imagine, I've got this one, had this black, kind of black, flowered shirt, silk. And,
wow.
And also had one. I had some pretty shirts back then. Shit, no. It's like,
and then with your boots.
But we just buy.
And the slacks, as you call them.
Yeah, Farrads is the name of it. Farrah. I could tell a few stories about that. A friend of mine named Noel in his Farrads. But yeah, but no, we had some. Again, it says, you know, social media is putting it out there, but back then we didn't have to worry about it. We just wear everything we want. You know, I've got shirts that last me 5-10 years, because you don't get to a certain age in life, you don't grow much, and you're always on the move, and you don't wear them that frequently, but they last forever because they're decent quality. This day and age, people just buy each quick thing. Well, now myself personally, anyway, I'm just at the market, quick shirt, that's it. Wear it, thing in the dustbin. Social media, thank you.
You don't have that pressure.
Nah.
But yeah, no, so that was one of your lessons, to save more. So you have to balance now saving and spending, because life is about balance.
Yeah, it is about balance, but also I think back then again, as you said earlier on, because you didn't have any kids, so you didn't have anything to worry about. So that wasn't a problem. So you were just living for yourself. But once you become a family person, then it's not you alone. You have to think of others. So once you have to think of others, you have to make sure there's food on the table and a roof over the head, kind of thing. So it changes. Obviously, as kids comes along, life changes, and everyone will tell you that, to be quite honest with you.
So if you saw any of us, I don't think any of us are reckless, but if you saw us doing the things that you were doing, would you be concerned? Would you be like, ooh, this one is going to learn a tough lesson?
Not really, because I mean, in a way, Jamel's probably similar to me, as far as money is concerned, and that's the way. And he'll just say, I'm not saying that you guys don't enjoy your life in your money. You save a lot more than Jamel do, but because I said Jamel's like me, if I see something and I want it, I'm gonna buy it. It doesn't matter what it is. And when I said it doesn't matter, as providing I've got the money. Come tomorrow and we're thinking, hell, I'm skint now. But you know what? I've always been fortunate in the sense that I've never had issues with money. I've been able to earn it, go and earn it and get it back. So if I want it, I'm going to buy it. Does that help your spending habits? Because in your head, you're like, if I spend this, you know what? Tomorrow I'm just going to go to work a bit earlier and I'll make the money back. So then you're in a constant cycle of, I want it, I buy it, you know what? I can just get the money back. Kind of. So... The good thing about my job, the jobs that I've done in the past, I worked hard. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I worked hard. So when some people are sort of doing 8 hours a day, I'm doing 12, 14. So that's how I work. That's where I made my money, working hard. So I work hard and I play hard. You know, and there's There's times I've probably mentioned before, people thought called me a workaholic, but there were certain jobs you just have to do, you have to get done, and then from one job to another job, and you on into it. But then all of a sudden, there was a time it's like, you know what, I'm off, and I just got missing. You know, so when I said I got missing, I just got on holidays, and that's it, kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, I've had a few holidays with the boys and stuff, going back years now as well. We still do it. We still do it to this present moment in time. We got Brazil. We've been wherever you want to name it. We've been, and yeah. So you just work hard and you play hard. But as far as you guys are concerned in saving, it's hard to make money now, as far as I'm concerned, than back then for myself.
Yeah.
You know, so and as you said earlier on, to buy a house now, I could mean my first house, the first house I bought cost me
I feel like I'm already going to be annoyed.
£20,000. Well, I paid £20,000 with my mum. We bought it together. It was 20,000, and this was a house in Putney, massive 5-bedroom house.
That's the whole house, not the deposit.
That's the whole house.
I'm so annoyed.
That
20 grand for a 5-bedroom house in Putney. That will easily cost you 1 million right now.
Oh,
more,
no,
more than a
1
million.
It's actually about...
That's not the deposit, because right now people are paying 45 for a deposit.
Yeah. So that gives you an idea. And then the second one I bought was 67,000. So it just gives you an idea. You know, then it was one for 50,000. These are all houses that works all over 500,000 now, easily. I mean, millions, to be honest with you. But I haven't got them.
But
you know, but that's the week going back. How
Alive.
price of houses back then were. We're talking about 40 years ago. 30, what was it? Yeah, 40 years ago. You know,
yeah,
easily.
I think each of the kids have a different aspect of you. So like Jamel, I think definitely is like work hard, play hard, because he does work long hours, then he enjoys. Andre is like the family man. Nade is the property, and then I'm the saver. So that's like you split up in 4. So everyone has got a little bit of you.
4 corners of the earth.
Yeah.
There's Natalie, there's Nadia, there's Jamel, there's Andre. And there's Calvin is also there as well. He's a hard worker as well.
Yeah, he's a hard worker.
So he does 2 jobs. I used to do 2 jobs like Cal's. They'll, stick the hours in. So, yeah. Once you work honest, once you live honest, work honest, earn your money honestly, should I say, then enjoy it. But obviously, when the kids comes along, then there's a change. Things does change, unfortunately. You have to be more serious of how you spend your money.
Okay, so our closing advice is, in your 20s, work hard, play hard, save a little, and enjoy your money.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life to the extent, obviously. Make sure, as I said, you've got something. Don't do like I did. Have something for tomorrow. I mean, I said I'd do like I did. I still have got something for tomorrow because, as I said earlier on, I did save in a form of property, not in a form of every day putting money in the cash. I actually put my money into property. So, and I look back, I'm thinking, yeah, I have saved. It's not the way people normally save.
Yeah.
On a daily banker thing. I saved in property back then. So, it's a bit controversial what I'm saying here. The fact is, I didn't save, but I did.
Save in a way that you can, that will help you for tomorrow. Whether that's properties, whether that's insurance policies, whether that's saving, investing, because now, like these days, the interest in your everyday saver isn't high, but maybe you can start saving in some stocks and shares, investing your money in other things, but just strike the balance between saving for tomorrow, because you have to live like you'll see tomorrow, but enjoy today as well.
Absolutely, totally agree with that there.
Yeah.
As I said, if I could turn the clock back, I would definitely save for tomorrow more than I did back then. Because it shows, when you're young, you just want to get up and go and do all the things, but, you will see tomorrow if you live life in a proper way. And not that everyone's going to reach the 50s or 60s, but majority of us tend to.
Yeah.
And so we have to sort of bear that in mind that tomorrow will come for a lot of us. And so we want to be able to enjoy it tomorrow as well and not be living from hand to mouth kind of thing. So yeah, it's all done good and proper.
All right, guys.
Save for tomorrow.
Save for tomorrow. And we'll see you next week on next week's episode.
Yep.
Bye.
Nice being with you this week again.